It's a disgrace here. There should be an investigation. This is what's wrong with boxing. This is what chases our great fans away from this great sport.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Boxtalk. It's time for This Week in Boxing, where we give you the news, reviews, also what's happened this week. Let's start with Friday night fights, and let's start with Martin Murray.
Okay, win.
Yeah.
Next.
Martin Murray's got to super middleweight division.
Yeah.
They said they're going to try to line him up for a world title shot, and that it's the super middleweight is strong in Europe, strong in England. So many options to go for. His opponent. It's like don't get me wrong. You come off a loss to GGG.
Yeah.
You go up a weight class, so you give someone an opponent to fight.
Yeah.
Someone that you could someone you could beat as a name. But to give him an opponent of this caliber, and then say he's ready for any super middleweight in the world.
Did they say that?
That's the image of progression.
Oh, okay, I don't think, that he's definitely not ready for any super middleweight in the world. Look, super middleweight division, we spoke about it on our Callum Smith, Rocky Fielding, is quite hot in England, let alone the world. And in world, recently in the last, if Martin Murray jumped into the super middleweight division a year ago, I would have said, you know what, he's got quite a good chance.
Yeah.
After the GGD defeat and what's happened in the super middleweight division in the last 3 or 4 months, it's not that easy.
No, it's definitely not easy.
It's a hell of a lot of tough. And I don't really look. We've always spoke about these comeback fights, and we spoke about it off camera and on camera. And I don't really understand why, if you are moving up weight class, okay, look, you had a loss. You went 10 rounds of GGG. Yeah. You're moving up a weight division. Why fight an 8-rounder? Yeah. Why fight against a nobody? No, fight someone. You moved up.
The guy's
don't get it.
The guy's record is similar to the Paul Butler record we were talking about.
Yeah.
The guy had 19 wins, 6 defeats, but the guys he's fighting to win those fights is not caliber fighters.
The only saving grace for me with Martin Murray is that I guess it was a last minute decision to get him on. It was he only recently signed for Matchroom 3-4 weeks ago, so it couldn't have been that in terms of preparation. But so I give him that, and I give him that because of the weight as well. So I don't think he was thinking that he's going to be on the card anyway.
One thing I will say for Martin Murray is that in terms of markability, he was in the middleweight division when they had Macklin, Andy Lee, and Barker, and they're supposed to be like the 4 middleweights to do something. He kind of lost out on that. Yeah. Him coming to 168 now, he's kind of regained that ability now. Yeah. I.e. with the likes of we talk about Rocky Fielding in a minute, we talk about Callum Smith, James DeGale, George Groves. You know what I mean? You've now got again 4 or 5 fighters that you can make those domestic matchups, and depending when you match them, all could be huge matches within 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, the only one that I would like to see him fight out of all those names mentioned is George Groves. Rocky Fielding, you ain't going to fight, stablemate. Them two are very, very close.
They helped you have a spar for their
exactly, and I think the girl, to be honest, is gone. I think he's on the next level to all of them, to be honest, right now.
Let's move forward. Let's go with Rocky Fielding versus Brian Vera. Good win for Rocky Fielding.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And regardless what happened within the fight with Ian John Lewis, the way the fight was playing out, Rocky Fielding was always going to get the stoppage.
Ian John Lewis is such a shit referee.
He is, yeah.
Like, I know they said a referee video, but he is the worst. He is the worst referee in the world. He's like, should I stop
it? Should I go in? Should I don't?
What am I doing? I'm scared of getting hit.
We got to that part in 1 second. But the way the fight was going though, Fielding was going to get a knockout. Dropped him in the first round, hurt him in the second round. If the fight didn't get stopped when he got stopped, he would have definitely made a stoppage of it within 3 or 4 rounds. Yeah. But did you guys see when Brian Vera got caught and kind of slipped and went to a knee? Then
his glove touched like he was.
Ian John was behind Vera like jumping in and out, not too sure to stop it, and then Vera got hit with a clean shot, standing flush, which basically ended the fight. Yeah. And then Lewis said, let me go in there. Yeah. He can't make those split decisions.
Look, that's no shame on Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding, you fight until the referee tells you not to fight.
Exactly.
So Rocky Fielding's thinking, I'm still throwing punches because the referee hasn't done anything right now, and this is my biggest win ever. I mentioned prior to that, is Brian Vera coming here for a payday? Is he coming here to think, I can win and do something? It was a bit of both for me with Brian Vera. From the first sort of 20-30 seconds, like, he looks a bit, his jab looked a bit loose, and he thought, I'm just going to swing away, and it didn't look... Again, I don't want to take it away from Rocky Fielding's performance because it's an excellent performance, but Brian Vera just looked crap.
What I thought was good as well from Froch Fielding was the way he got the stoppage, the way the knockdown came over. He was backpedaling, he was in the ropes.
Yeah.
So he was under pressure a little. He was being forced back, but he still had the mindset to get off those good clean punches.
Yeah.
And those are things that you have learning experiences.
Yeah.
It's always good coming forward and being the aggressor, landing the shots. When you're being forced back, and you can still land those type of shots and generate power, getting the guy walking onto you and you're coming in. I mean, it was a nice finish.
Yeah, I like Rocky Fielding. Like he's done it the right way. He's gone from a prize fighter to English title and then kind of those kind of international belts now. And this is a huge win on his record, and it opens up that American market for those kind of fights. And I think we initially thought it was going to be Callum Smith. It seems like it's not going to be Callum Smith now. So I think they're going to go different paths. So it'll be good to see who he gets in September.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with Callum Smith versus Chris Robrisi.
Yeah.
Good fight.
Yes.
I think it was a typical learning fight. What a fighter needs coming up. Didn't agree with the scorecards though. The scorecard had it basically had it one-sided for Callum Smith.
One-sided beatdown.
Yeah, and it definitely was not.
I maybe missed that fight. Someone has to show me what fight that was. I didn't see a one-sided beatdown at all.
Yeah. I saw one of those fights there where I thought Glenn McCoy's scorecard was correct basically.
What did he have?
After he had it about 3 rounds to 9.
Okay.
I had it up to round 8. I had it 4 rounds apiece. Up to round 8, and then Callum Smith took away the last 4
easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think
I can make an argument for 8-4. 8-4. Yeah, 8-4 is right.
Yeah, 8-4 is what I scored at fight. Now if I watch it again, I might.
Someone had it 120.
Yeah, exactly 120. Yeah. This was a fight where Callum had to dig deep a little bit.
Yeah.
Did have his own way, and he saw different shots that he didn't see before from any other fighter.
Yeah.
It was a fight that he had to actually. He learned on the job.
Yeah.
To get through that fight, and then from round 8 onwards, when he actually picked up certain things, he tore away.
Yeah, this is almost like if you kind of equate it to school. This is almost that exam paper to get to the next level. Like and this is he's now passed. He's like, here, Callum, you're ready.
Yeah.
Let's because Robrisi A never been stopped, so it was going to be hard to get the stoppage. B, last time out we saw him against George Groves, good performance, and C is definitely a top 15 super middleweight in terms of where they rank him. Look at all the rankings. He's kind of there in every ranking. So this is almost like Callum Smith. Well done. On to the next one.
Sometimes when you watch a fight, especially fights that are coming up, and you think they're really, really good, it takes time to fight someone who's more experienced to show what they need to work on and what they need to fix on. And it's one of those fights there where Robrisi's punches were shorter.
Yeah. And
they were crisper a little bit in the sense whereas when Robrisi wanted to get his shots off, he always landed.
Yeah.
Where Callum Smith's shots seem to be very, very long.
Yeah.
And once you keep your punches short, keep them tight, that's what Callum Smith's going to get out of this fight. Had to keep his punches short and tight. Whereas Robrisi was always getting them off in the pocket, close, and he had a defense. Whereas it was hard for Callum to get into it. Yeah. And Callum got caught with a few shots, but because his defense is not as tight as of yet. Yeah. It was Callum's the better athlete, the younger, fresher, the guy with more potential overall. Robrisi's hit his potential, and that's where he's at. Callum's got more to grow with the fight, but he saw in this fight little things that guess what? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do in the future, and this is why I'm going to be possibly a world champion. Tony Bellew fought as well.
Yes, he did.
Stopped the guy in the 12th round, the last round.
Yeah. Was it the last round? Was it 10th?
It was 10th round. I thought it was a good performance. I thought it was a solid performance. I thought Bellew looks more relaxed.
Yeah.
He looked very comfortable with his shots, and his accuracy looked really good as well. The guy's foot was a late replacement, so you can't see too much into it.
Yeah.
But I was concerned about Bellew moving forward because he wants Hernandez, and I've noticed with Bellew, when you're throwing single shots, he seems to have lost quite a bit of speed from light heavyweight to cruiserweight.
100%.
In combination punching, speed's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you put them together, even the 1-2 when he was getting a lot with the arm overhand right, it's good speed. But on single shots, I'm not too sure. With someone like Hernandez, who's very fast for a cruiserweight, not too sure. Maybe they want to go for Huck.
Yeah, I agree. I think Huck makes more sense in the terms of Huck's very flat-footed and again throws big single shots all the time, so you're not going to get combinations. With Hernandez, basically you're getting a guy that fights like a light heavyweight, super middleweight. He throws those kind of punches. I'm not sure with Bellew. I'll be honest with you. Yes, it was a late replacement, and late replacements work both ways. Either the guy's a bum, or there's a style that you haven't trained for, so it's difficult. I'll give him that he had the flu as well. Bellew's not one for excuses. I just feel like I don't know if he brings the power up to cruiserweight like he had. Bellew was known for that kind of power and aggressiveness. He doesn't bring that up. I don't know if he can do what he done at light heavy. Like you say, he's carrying an extra stone bulk.
Yeah.
And I feel like it looks like he's carrying an extra stone of bulk, if that makes any sense. Where the natural cruiserweights, i.e. Hernandez, look like they're slim, but they're not. They're huge men, but they look slim and trim. Hernandez ain't a good fight for him. I don't care what they say. Hernandez is not a good fight for him.
He doesn't look like he's carrying the weight correctly.
Yes.
But he looks better physically.
I know what you mean.
He didn't look tired.
He looks healthy.
His feet were moving.
He's never body beautiful. We know that. He's never going to have my body.
When you ever seen... When have you ever seen Bellew actually move his feet the way he moved in that fight?
Never, to be
That's
fair.
what I'm trying to say. So he looks healthy, so he looks stronger. So yes, it's better for him at the weight, but like I said, that speed element at the highest level, I'm confused.
We mentioned it about Bellew and Cleverly a couple of weeks ago. We said they almost need a division in between cruiser and light heavyweight. They almost start what can they do. They struggle to make light heavy what Bellew does, and cruiser, I think, just a few pounds over where he really wants to be.
If it was the old 190 division, Bellew would
be a monster in it as well.
Alright then, post-fight, Tony Bellew was being interviewed by Ed Robinson, and then Ed Robinson didn't mention Nathan Cleverly.
No, sorry, why did Ed Robinson do that though?
Did you see Bellew's face?
Yeah, but I can understand. It's almost like, why are you mentioning Cleverly in my interview?
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand. That business is done now. Why?
Bellew was pissed. And if Ed Robinson said something along the lines like, I'm sure you'll be happy for him.
Yeah, it's like, I like Ed Robinson. Obviously, he's Mr. Knowledgeable, but you didn't need to mention Cleverly. I mean, there doesn't need to be that association. It's not like you bang bang.
Yeah.
So let's not pretend it is. It's not. It's not like that at all. It's almost made up through social media. I think that their war.
All right, then let's go to Saturday night's main event: Timothy Bradley versus Jesse Vargas.
Yeah.
I don't know to wait fight too much. I'm gonna go to the controversy, but it was a fight Bradley was winning.
Yeah.
Bradley looked good.
Ish.
Bradley still takes a lot of shots coming in.
Far too many.
But I thought it was a good Tim Bradley performance. Going into the 12th round, I thought it was a typical Bradley performance. He took a few shots. He's got the big swell on his face like he always does.
Yeah.
But he won.
He did win.
Then came referee
moment of madness from Pat Russell. Which it's weird how that moment of madness almost, and we spoke about it off camera when Chavez put Martinez down.
Yeah.
Almost saves them a bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Almost like when Adrian Broner put Porter down. Adrian Broner's walking around like, but I'll put you down.
Yeah.
It kind of helps your performance, Vargas, because you weren't winning that fight. I comfortably had Bradley by about 5 or 6 rounds in that performance, and then you landed one, and then Pat Russell doing that last 10-second madness. If you haven't seen it, guys, you want to quickly explain how it worked?
20 seconds left. They got a slight exchange at the end. Vargas clipped Bradley with a clean hook.
Clipped him is an understatement.
Bradley's legs go all over the place.
Why does Bradley even keep standing?
Bradley backpedals, and then the 10-second clapper comes and it goes 3 times.
Yeah.
And Pat Russell stops the fight. Vargas thinks he won and starts celebrating. And Pat Russell's like, nah.
The fight's over.
The fight's over. Yeah. One thing I will say about this, and I really hate this, I think it's really deceiving from fighters. Vargas knows he lost the fight.
Yes.
He knew he lost the fight. Yeah. After he was told that the fight was stopped, was going to points. At the scorecard, they had the split screen. Vargas' face like, yes, I won.
Because I landed.
So he landed one shot. He knew he lost.
Yeah.
He knew he lost. Yeah. Then now he's going to try to play it out like some sort of big controversy. Yeah. There was no controversy. Yeah. Besides, you lost the fight and the ref made a mistake. That's going to warrant a rematch. So now.
Bradley has come up and said, not doing a rematch. He said that even Pavlovnikov was a lot more controversial than that, and I didn't give him a rematch. I'll move on. Yeah. One thing I will say about Bradley, he needs to look at his team, and especially his matchmaking. They seem to be putting him up against guys that, like even the Shavs, other fighters ain't fighting these guys. Yeah. Pavlovnikov and now Vargas. No one's fighting these guys that are dangerous and have O records and no one knows. He seems to be risking himself against these non-marquee guys for very little money when no one other welterweight is doing that. And I think they need to look at. He needs now to be fighting. He needs to fight marquee names basically. He needs to get rid of this.
No matter what his camp say, his camp can't do nothing about it because all the fighters are on the other side of the table.
Yeah, he needs to really look at his.
No joke.
And see what he's gonna do.
Bradley's at Burger King. Those guys at McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Burger King's better than McDonald's though.
Don't really mix a burger's a burger. Okay. Let's go with the news for this week, and not a lot of news really, but there's a few interesting subjects.
Not a lot of news. What's all that then?
Okay, so let's start with the first one. And unfortunately, I've lost the article, so I can't give you the full details. The backers of Al Heyman's PBC card. There's some big company that basically invested over 400 million into PBC. Do you read this article? You see this article?
So the mafia, basically.
Yeah. So basically, what's happening is now
drug dealers in America. Don't tell me he hasn't got drug dealers.
I don't know about that.
You think he ain't got back?
I don't know about that.
Come from nowhere to run boxing.
So what's happened is now the backers that were supporting him, this big company,
they went out.
They're out. I think their stockholders or their shareholders are not liking that the money's been involved in boxing.
Okay.
So now they're talking about withdrawing some of the money, and their share price on the stock market has gone down, which means the 400 million Al Heyman had might get cut into half, which means it will affect the overall quality of the events on PBC, the overall pay purses on the events, and they might look for a new backer to support the remaining shows they've got set up already.
I'll be honest with you, that Al Heyman PBC thing almost seems too good to be true.
Yeah.
In terms of, look, he's been around. We know he's a boxing, music mogul, so he's not come from nowhere, people. But
he probably used to box, you know that?
Did he?
And this is why he didn't like boxing, because he saw the way his brother got
smashed to pieces a couple of times.
No, not smashed to pieces. Got shafted on the money side of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like, look, maybe we're lucky over here, but we've known Frank Warren and sort of the Hearns, Matchroom for years. So when we see their progression, we think, oh, it's steady progression.
Yeah.
When you come like Al Heyman did and just go wallop, I'm taking everyone, I'm running box, like, where have you come from to dominate like this? And you almost felt like, okay, it couldn't have been his money. Now we know it wasn't. He had a huge amount of investment behind him.
Yeah.
And if that investment weaks, I mean, look, if that investment does go, I'm not trying to say PBC ends, but the idea of PBC taking over boxing doesn't seem so clear cut anymore. That looks like a bit of a grey area.
If shareholders and backers people are starting to pull out or changing their mind on it, not only could PBC fall or crash or change the dynamic of it, fighters might want to start leaving. Because remember, a lot of the fighters don't have promotional agreements with Al Heyman. They have management agreements.
Or 2 free fight contracts, that's all they're getting. No one, unless you're Deontay Wilder, got this ridiculous 10 fight, everyone else is really getting 2 or 3 fight contracts. Yeah. So it's easy to kind of walk away. Yeah. Unlike when you sign to Bob Arum.
I mean, it's that old saying, you go where the money is.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to Al Heyman because that's where the money is.
Yeah.
If the money is no longer there, does that give the likes of Golden Boy and Arum and Kathy Duva back a shot in the play?
The thing is, Al Heyman's business plan is solely based on one thing: the fighters.
Yeah.
If the fighters don't perform in terms of become marquee names, look, like you say, he's already lost Adrian Broner. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that big marquee guy you thought is gone. He's no longer a marquee guy. Mayweather's retiring soon, and we've said who's the next big star. His business is solely based on someone becoming a star. Yeah. Doesn't happen.
Becoming a household name.
Yeah, it does exactly. Those household names don't happen. It doesn't matter how good they are as boxers. People don't watch it. People don't watch it like TV. Yeah. TV nowadays, if no one watches it, it doesn't get viewership. It comes off.
Comes off, yeah.
Simple.
Ringside on Sky. Yeah. Apparently, is no more going to be a TV show. Sky's got this new idea of having everything on their web content, and apparently Ringside will now go to a strictly web-based format. Is that good or bad for boxing?
Oh, it's bad. It shows that boxing isn't. It had that big kind of hiatus, and it had that kind of where boxing was here. And you said it to me, and I'm a huge boxing fan. You said, when was the last time I watched Ringside? And I was like,
yeah, you hardly watch it now.
I don't remember. I watched Spencer Fearon's Toe to Toe podcast. I find it's short, it's quick, it's snappy. Ringside now, I kind of feel like can be a bit biased. I mean, are they showing just matchroom kind of fighters? Are they showing as much as they could of Box Nation fighters? And it doesn't seem to be all about British boxing. It seems to be more of a matchroom show. Obviously, they sometimes now and again show other people's fights, but it seems to be a matchroom show, and I kind of thought it was getting a bit stale. Yeah. Johnny Nelson in the ring, kind of showing someone stuff. I kind of thought it was a bit stale. Yeah. And they needed to reinvent it, and they haven't. And that's what happens when you don't reinvent something. Sometimes it can just.
I like Ringside. I watch it every week religiously.
You're a boxing nut.
Yeah, I can't miss my Ringside. But I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a real bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing is that Ringside, you'll get the casual fans who just watch Sky Sports, or the sport fans. Oh, let's see Ringside, let's see what's going on in boxing this week. Maybe it wasn't the best platform to get a worldwide view on boxing, but it was a platform that the casual fans had. Have it now on strictly as a web-based thing, only boxing heads are going to go there. So you lose that casual audience. And I think when it comes to pay-per-views on Sky, how are they going to promote their pay-per-views?
Yeah, they'll do what they did in terms of kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. But Ringside was a thing where you could know a month before the fight, they're talking about the fight, they're building it up, they're building up. That's the casual buyer that comes in and buys those fights. casual buyers not going to skysports.com/boxing.
You know what the problem is, and I think it's problem over there. The casual fan, it must have lost viewing figures. They would never take it off if the viewing figures were super high. But the casual fan tuned in for Carl Froch Shaw's gloves. Tuned in.
Yeah.
And then they started hearing whispers of, we might get a Frampton Quigg.
Yeah.
Not happening. We might get a Khan Brook.
Yeah.
So they've not done enough in terms of, it's not their fault, but they've not done enough in terms of bringing these big British fights together for the casual fans to stay, and that's what happens. Fans fall off.
Yeah. And the thing about it as well, Ringside as well, which I think is really a bad sign as well for boxing as well, and this is why I really think it should be on TV, is that it's got such a talented cast. Like, let's be honest, Ed Robertson is mostly, like, him and Spencer Ferrell are two of the most knowledgeable people in boxing.
The hands down.
Yeah.
Ed Robertson, you ask him any question, you ask Spencer Ferrell who won 1961 middleweight championship, and he'll tell you right there and then.
And I'm trying to say, you can't have talent like that and don't make it work.
They should have put Spencer on a bit more.
They should put Spencer
on a bit more. If there's no big boxing match, you don't tune in. It's that simple. If there's no big football match, you don't tune in to football news. You need to know. If there's no big boxing match on the horizon, people just don't tune in because what am I tuning in for?
I understand where where they want to put the web content, because, like you said, social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, things change so quickly now. People send a message, so having a 1 weekly show on Sky, by the time you do the show, you might have lost a lot of the content. So I understand of having the stuff on the website, but at the same side, they need to keep it on TV.
Yeah, I guess so, but I got bored of it. I'll be very honest, I got extremely bored of it. I didn't rush home anymore for it. I just got bored because, like I said, it became a matchroom show rather than a boxing show.
This is a sad one, and I'm actually quite confused about this one. Okay, I remember 18 months ago, Mohamed Adesanya fought Mike Perez.
Yes.
Adesanya got injured, had brain bleed. Obviously, he's now in a wheelchair, he's cared by his family. His family sued the New York State Athletic Commission for negligence for the injury. New York has counter-sued them and said it is your fault why he got injured because his corner didn't stop the fight first. How poor and cheap is that, and what type of effect is that going to have on boxing? Knowing that if you get hurt in the ring, the commission is not going to support you because they recommend the corner stop the fight first.
I think it's poor on both sides.
Yeah,
I really do. I think it's poor on both sides. Look, as bad as it is, and it's a very bad story. Your husband, your son, your uncle is a boxer, and it goes into the risks. These risks are not. This isn't the first time, and it would never be the last time that a boxer gets seriously injured in a ring. He goes in there, unfortunately, to do the same to his opponent. Not injured like that. I'm trying to say in terms of winning the fight.
Inflict enough damage to win the fight.
Inflict enough damage to win the fight, so the corner do a stoppage. His corner, and I remember watching the fight. Rightly so, could have ended that fight a lot sooner. They see it. The corner men in those 1 minute in the corner see a lot more than even probably the referee sees in terms of looking in his eyes. You're focused. Are you okay? What's going on? What's going on? Look, I think every fighter should be supported after. In terms of, here's a lump sum to help you with your medical needs, this, that, those. But in terms of suing the New York State Athletic Commission, for what? Why are you suing them for? Because you want money to support? I get that. But you can't sue them. He went in the ring to have a fight. He lost. He got injured in the fight. That's not their fault.
There's two arguments there. One, what we always talked about previously, that boxing needs a commission to actually help situations like this. It shouldn't be an individual thing. But two, though, also I'm not privy to, or no one's privy to actually the whole process that evening. But was the ambulance there on time? Did they provide the type of thing? Because apparently he collapsed in the locker room and they said he was fine. And then they kind of let him go and then he collapsed again. So there's some sort of controversy in between when he was actually going downhill, how quick the response time was. So we don't know the exact details of how it worked out, but I think to blame the boxer, yes, you're a boxer, that's the risk you take, but they say, well, no, it's not our fault, it's your fault, so you've got to deal with it. That will affect every other fight that takes place if that goes through in a legal situation. Because boxers kind of have their mindset knowing that if I do get hurt, look at the previous history, I do get some support, I do get some sort of help. Maybe it's not the type of money that's life-changing, but you get enough for that machine by your bedside or this or that to do certain things. If boxers know they're not going to get that, it will affect boxing hugely.
In what sense?
If you're going to fight,
boxers are going to stop boxing?
No. If you're going to fight, and if you get hurt and you know there's no support, and that you're going to be blamed, or your corner's going to be blamed for it, and be counter-sued against it.
You're going to be counter-sued if you sue. Boxers, I don't think boxers and family will sue. I think boxers understand the risk they're doing when they get in the ring in terms of their support, and that's probably in their contract. with promoters and stuff. But I don't think a family should be suing the Athletic Commission. I don't think they should be counter-sued. But I don't think anyone should be sued in the first place.
The thing about the world that we all know, it's all about money.
Exactly.
So it all comes down to money. Yeah. It's not like these big states don't have money. They just don't want to give it out to help. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you had a responsibility to provide medical support at this boxing event, and for whatever reason you didn't fall through that, you can't throw the blame back to the corner.
Okay.
Backtrack on something I've mentioned for the past 2 weeks on This Week in Boxing, and now I'm gonna have to say it, and it sounds really bad. And I think you mentioned last week, Oscar might be using again.
Why?
Okay, so 3 weeks ago, he said he's coming back. He wants to come back. He wants to come back. He wants to come back. Last week he said he's definitely not coming back. He's not coming back. Blah blah blah. This week now he's saying, I'm coming back. No one could beat me at 154 pounds. He's flip flopping.
Yeah, but
I'm in them out. I'm definitely not coming back. Oh, definitely coming back. I'm the best at 154.
It's almost like you saying I'm using drugs. Look, I said I was going to go gym last week, didn't go. But I'm definitely going gym on Monday. But I might change my mind and go on Thursday. Does that mean I'm taking something? Wait a minute. Does that mean I'm on Saturday? Come on. Every human being changes their mind.
No, he's changing his mind too much in public statements.
I think he just gets the juices flowing where he's in the gym. He looks at the weight and thinks he does spar still, and he probably thinks. I think he's tagged someone in sparring. I think he's tagged someone in sparring and it's opened doors for him, and he thinks, why not? And I think he needs it. You know, like when Ricky Hatton kind of came back to fight, I can't remember the guy's name. Sinchenko?
Yeah.
And I think he needed it for the Hatton brand.
Yeah.
Almost. I don't know if Golden Boy needs it for that Golden Boy.
I don't think Golden Boy definitely needs a boost. But it's funny, in that video he done a week and a half ago, he told Mayweather, I'm not coming to fight Mayweather. He's come back and said he would fight GGG or Mayweather a week after. He can't make his mind up.
I wish someone like Oscar was still around because he would fight GGG.
Yeah, he would.
You know what I mean? All these
Give Oscar credit. Oscar ducked no one.
No
one.
Yeah. Imagine, anyway, it's a different video, but Hopkins would murder GGG. I'm going to get criticism for that. Let's see what they say.
Yeah.
160, no competition, people. Don't even think about it. Hopkins versus GGG at 160 is not. It's not even a joke.
Team Povetkin, Isaac Povetkin,
okay,
have said talks with Wilder has been extremely slow.
Yeah.
And they don't know where the fight's moving to. Same week, Deontay Wilder says, if I fight Povetkin again, same thing, we have to do extreme drug testing.
Yeah.
Yeah? Now, I'm not picking on Deontay Wilder, because I have picked him for the past couple of weeks, because he has winding up quite a bit. But if you've got a mandatory, and they're going to make, and then they're supposed to have it set for like September, October times.
Negotiation should be now.
Yeah, negotiation should be now. Yeah? Should you be planning ahead saying, well, you can have a fight in between or interim, we put you two on the same card, you do whatever. Why slow go the promotion? I strictly think it's because Al Heyman knows that he could be outbidded in this fight and he could lose his champion to go to Germany.
Two things. A, he will be outbidded. There's no two ways about it. Vladimir, look, people don't remember the Vladimir fight with Povetkin was what, 19? What was it? 22 million.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
That was Hurinov that got promoted, yeah.
You will lose your bid. If this goes to bidding war, you'll lose your bid. Yeah. Second, you will lose your champion.
Yeah.
After that Wilder performance, yes, everyone has a dodgy performance now and again, but after that Wilder performance, you will lose your champion. So you lose your belt, you lose your champion, you don't want no part of this.
You know, and the thing about it as well, like I said, I've mentioned before that I think Wilder can have big potential, but I think these type of statements he makes hurts his brand, and I'm trying to say, because it makes it seem like he's trying to avoid or duck. But two, it also shows that maybe you're not as confident as you think you are.
You know when you say, okay, Wilder could have potential, I'm not having it anymore. When do you get to be as a boxer? And you can tell me this. You've done your little bit in and out, the ring. When can you tell me when it gets to the stage of how many fights and what age and what amateur background do you have to have so you've reached your potential? Because I'm looking at a guy now that's had 34 fights.
Yeah, Olympian, bronze medal Olympian. He's 30. Yeah, 30, 31.
Yeah,
I'm young at that. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Potential's done now. You should be at your peak.
Eddie Hearn saying Carl Froch is probably going to retire.
Yeah.
Is this retiring like season?
Yeah. Yeah, it was having Kessler, Martinez
before that, and I mean there's others that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I heard I can't remember the guy's name now. DeMarco's retiring as well. Antonio DeMarco's retiring as well.
Yeah, he took that beating a couple weeks back. Froch has got that kind of strange problem where, look, first of all, look, he's out of the ring. He's not out of the ring because of injuries.
Yeah.
He's not out of the ring because of contract problems.
Yeah.
He's not out of the ring because he's just out of the ring.
He's indecisive.
He's very indecisive, and I guess the Chavez losing to Fonfara messed things up.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want a piece of the girl. We know that. He really doesn't want a piece of GGG either. So you ask who's out there. The only thing for Froch would be to go to light heavy, almost like what Calzaghe did.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do that.
Nah. So he's at the weight. He said I'm 6 pounds over the weight.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. He ain't fought in a year and he's still in fighting weight. So
but you know, funny thing is, he could even as catch weights, you know. Kovalev would come down to 172.
Yeah.
Kovalev would come down to 172. I mean, 168, 172,
Yeah.
good fight, but it's not going to happen. He will retire.
It's funny that you mentioned Fonfara. Fonfara versus Nathan Cleverly apparently being set up.
I kid you not.
I didn't see it coming at all.
And claps to Cleverly for accepting that.
Yeah.
Because that's not a joke. A guy
That's not a joke.
beat Chavez, knocked down the guy that couldn't be knocked down.
Yeah.
Well done, Cleverly. Cleverly beats that, he's back in the mix.
Not even that. Just remember that Fonfara was the same guy that pushed Adonis Stevenson 12 rounds.
Pushed him all the way.
Yeah.
Pushed him all the way. So it's almost like, I think Cleverly's looking at it as I lose, I retire. It might sound a bit extreme.
Yeah.
I lose, I retire, I win. Anyone can get it.
Yeah, a friend of Boxtalk, Danny Garcia, complains that he wants more credit from fans and media.
Yeah.
I've got one answer to that.
Go on.
Fight the right people, Danny.
Okay. Yeah, you can't. Danny Garcia's had the worst 18 months a pound for pound boxer can have.
Exactly.
So if he didn't have that, look, Danny Garcia was the pound for pound list.
Yeah.
But his last 3 or 4 fights have been meaningless and his performance has been awful. Can't get
Danny Garcia was on my pound for pound list.
Yeah.
He's now definitely off that list.
Yeah.
And it's not that you can't lose fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone could lose a fight. But I definitely didn't think he won the Herrera fight. I definitely thought Rod Sauer was a disgrace to boxing.
Yeah.
And the Peterson fight, I thought he lost as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the victories, but I don't think Danny Garcia is putting the type of performances, or when he fought Sauer, making the right choices, and especially vocally, through his dad and through himself, and where he sees himself. No, if he another old news. I don't know why I'm going through this old news stuff, but Amir Khan now said, "I'm not fighting Brook ever."
Oh, you're not fighting Brook ever?
Yeah.
Okay, because you've got these a number of marquee fighters lined up to fight you, Amir Khan, because you run boxing and you are the king of everything.
That was on about 4 websites, like ever.
Did he say those words though?
That's what he said. I'm not fighting him. He said, "Why should I give him the payday? I'm not fighting him."
You know, I hate when boxers say that.
Yeah.
Why should I give him a payday? It makes me feel sick.
No.
Someone gave you a payday.
Yeah.
Barrera gave you the opportunity to open doors for
Yeah.
you. Come on.
I really, really think now
He shook.
that sparring session they had,
Oh, you're starting something.
showed more.
Don't start a race war.
Showed more to Amir Khan than Khan's letting on. It doesn't mean he lost it. It means something that sparring session happened. Because guess what? Kel could do this quite well, or Kel could punch, or Kel not a bad boxer. Something happened that sparring session will give Khan a little bit saying.
What I don't like is the excuses seem to be becoming more and more. Look, first was, okay, he's got to fight a named opponent. He fought Sean Porter. He's got to be a world champion. Why am I going to even fight him? He's got a belt now. He's got to be a marquee star. This fight sells out Wembley. He's got to do something. He sells out Sheffield Arena constantly. What else can he do?
And I'll tell you what, I know Khan gets paid, but what was the offer? 5 million?
Yeah, something like that.
5 million is not a small pay packet.
Yeah.
Under any sort of, in terms of world boxing right now, 5 million is mostly more than anyone minus Mayweather Pacquiao.
Cotto.
And Cotto.
Yeah. Canelo.
You get my point though? It's a handful. It's a handful.
I'll give you this, probably 5 out.
It's a huge paycheck. No, it's not puppet change.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Definitely not what's in my
Quickly go with rumours. Brook Rios signed for September 12th.
Good. You know, happy with that fight. It's a good fight.
Yeah.
I think for Brook, it's another opponent that we want to see. It's a named opponent. It might not be a top 10 marquee opponent, but there's no one out there that's going to say he's not fighting. He's in that mix, because Rios would be in that mix against any one of those guys. So he's in the mix.
I think it's a named opponent, but I don't think it's a marquee opponent.
No, it's not marquee.
Yeah, I think Rios.
Let's not forget, 140. Was he 140 pound champion? He was.
Yeah.
I know. I'm 135. 2-weight champion. Okay.
Rios is a name, but like I said before, he's masquerading as a welterweight, and I think Cobrook stops him.
If Pat-Man can fight him 3 fights ago,
and
I don't think it's bad for.
But same thing when he fought Pat-Man, we said he's masquerading as a welterweight. He's not really a welterweight. I think Cobrook stops him quite handily. That wild style, walking with your face first, Cobrook puts him out of there within 6 rounds.
Mayweather, obviously, I don't think we spoke about this last week. Obviously, he's joking when he said, in terms of his opponents, Berto and Kareem Mayfield.
I think Mayweather was joking. Do you know Mayweather's got beef with Andre Berto?
Well, maybe because Mayweather takes the mick out of him.
No. apparently, Berto is friendly with Mayweather's ex-partner, Chantal Jackson, who's now got Nelly, and you know Mayweather and Nelly has a little bit of a beef as well.
Yes, it's so
and
ridiculous.
Andre
This
Berto,
is like a set of Towie.
yeah, the joke here. Andre Berto reckons Mayweather is prank calling him and breathing down the phone.
Are you serious? No, are you serious?
I'm serious. Why would I say it? He thinks Mayweather's prank calling him, getting people to prank call him, and he said that it's not funny. Like, no, I'm trying to say.
So do you think he's almost taking the mick when he says Berto in the sense that people are now laughing at Berto, almost to try and antagonise Berto, like, and people are laughing.
Somebody Mayfield, I saw an interview with him, and he was quite humble about it. He said, "Oh, I'm happy you mentioned my name. If he doesn't fight me, cool, whatever. And if I get a fight out of this with someone else on Gold, on Mayweather's promotions, good." So Mayfield's taking it as a promotional aspect. Berto's taking it serious.
Styles make fights, Berto hasn't got a chance.
But Berto has a chance. If Berto tried that soda roll,
If Berto tries to do Mayweather on Mayweather,
Yeah.
he could be getting Mayweather. You like that, innit? Mayweather.
yeah. But yeah, I don't think Mayweather's really joking about Andre Berto.
Boy, Andre Berto, but I hope he's joking.
Yeah.
But everyone wants that payday, so you never know.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Anthony Ogogo just saw this last night. Anthony Ogogo is now co-promoted by Sauerland and Golden Boy Promotions. I think that's obviously helped with the UK side.
Yeah.
But I also think that's kind of a slippage from Golden Boy.
It's a slippage from Golden Boy, and it almost shows how I wouldn't say badly advised. Look, when Ogogo signed to Golden Boy,
It was the biggest company in the world.
there was no Al Heyman.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god. But the marketing's never going to be as good as if he was ringside at a Matchroom show.
Yeah.
And everyone knows who he was. Anthony Ogogo has been forgotten. Forgotten. And he needs to get a move. And yes, he's been injured.
He's been injured for
but
a
he's
year,
still
exactly,
been very, very much forgotten. I think the Sauerland seems to be really stepping into the British market.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, that's what. How many is that now? Price, Rose, and now Gogo. I think there might be one or two more. But
Remember this, yeah? Sauerland works closely with Matchroom, and they show their fights on Sky.
Yeah.
Which means now it kind of makes Ogogo part of that whole package now.
He'll sign to Matchroom sooner or later.
So,
you watch. He'll
yeah.
get Matchroom fighters sooner or later.
I think Golden Boy's just hoping that Ogogo get built over here in the UK,
He needs to
then use that to transcend themselves over there.
And you just mentioned Amir Khan. Amir Khan was a star here before he moved there. Do you know what I mean? You need to make your name in your own country, I think, first. Unless you're, you know, someone like a GGG where you just got to make it anywhere. Boxing is big in Britain.
Yeah.
Make it here, go to the States, become a star, not the other way around.
Last bit of news really, and then one more last bit on there. But
That's not the last bit then.
No, Roy Jones is going to be over in the UK on the 12th of September. Apparently having a fight.
Having a fight over here?
Over here, the UK.
What is he, cruiserweight?
Cruiserweight, yeah. It must be no marquee.
I was going to mention Roy Jones being able to beat someone, but I don't want to get stick, so I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah. So guys, if you want,
I think Roy Jones beats Belly. I think Roy Jones right now could beat Tony Belly.
If you want to see Roy Jones in the UK, keep an eye out for him. He's coming over on the 12th.
That was a joke, by the way, people.
Last one, sad one. Condolences to Jim Watt.
Yes, you know, when I heard, because it came out as Scottish TV presenter, and I didn't put the link together, and Matchroom came out and said Jim Watt's daughter, and I thought, oh wow, you know, big condolences. It's always sad news when someone passes away.
And that's the second child he's lost as well.
That's what they said as well.
Second child he's lost. I think that's a fear of any parent. I mean, to use your kids first. You know what I mean? I think, and it happens every single day. I mean, the world's not a nice place sometimes.
Yeah. Any fights next week?
For the first time in a while.
Yeah.
No.
Do you fancy strapping the gloves up?
you come and join me?
No, me and you. Everyone's asked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might as well. If there's no fights next week, guys, what would you pay pay-per-view? What would you pay pay-per-view? Me and Ryan get it done. My fee's massive, you know. My fee's kind of big.
Easy work.
Yeah, of course it'll be easy work.
For me.
Oh, for you?
Yeah, for me.
What do you mean? In what sense? You guys can't see this right now, but there's heat coming from Ryan. I'm just cool and calm because I know I got the little, you know. But hey, let's move on. End the show. End the show. Alright, guys, thanks for watching another edition of This Week in Boxing. Not much news, but big news.
Big stories, yeah.
Big stories. Big stories.
A lot of big stories.
And it'll be interesting to see where all this goes next week in terms of what happens with all the stories there. But guys, don't forget, tweet, subscribe, Instagram, YouTube, everything. Leave the comments below. We will get back to you. We do get back to you, as you can see.
YouTube's been slow this week, though. That bloody Message.
Yes, we've been unable to respond to a lot of comments. So guys, don't think we're not commenting, responding. We just couldn't.
We couldn't respond, but we'll be on it this week.
We're going to catch up right now. But thanks for tuning in again, guys, and cheers.